Hi everyone, Janie here, and today I'm going to do a review on Close to My Heart's stamps and coordinating die sets. And I'm also going to show you how I used distress inks for stamping and coloring these images. But the first thing I want to do is tell you how this whole thing came about. So I am a member of a Facebook group called Seasonal Swaps and Cards. And this month there was a swap that required a card using a technique that began with the letter B. And the technique I chose is a block card. I actually call it a step block card, but same thing. And this is the card that I made. See if I could show you all sides of it here. It's the top, the front, and the back. Okay, so I knew what I wanted to make, the technique I wanted to use, but I had no clue what I was going to do with this card. And then all of a sudden I remembered that Close to My Heart had just recently come out with these stamps with coordinating dies, and I had bought a set. And I thought, I have to try it out. That's what I'm going to do. So I did. I got out the stamps and the dies, and I went to work on the card. And of course, this is, as you already saw, the end result. Cute little pots and cactuses and little cactus flowers on the top. And everything on this card was cut out with that stamp and die set, with this exception. With the exception of the little frames on the top and the little squares on the back. Everything else is the Close to My Heart stamp and die sets. And everything was colored with distress inks, all kinds of them. And then I added little gems on the top. But anyways, it just all came together and I was really excited. And I had to tell the really nice lady that that's for, that she has to wait till after I do this tutorial before she can have it. And she's really nice and she said, of course. So let me show you the stamp and die sets. So for those of you that aren't familiar what stamps and coordinating dies are, I'm going to show you really quick before I get on to showing me using them. So let me see here. You get a stamp set like this, and this is the die set, and I'm going to actually pull it out so you can see it a little bit better. So there's dies for the images. I believe I counted 9 of them, and so they match up. Can't show them both at the same time, but they match up so that you can cut out the stamped images. Isn't that the coolest thing somebody ever thought of? These are the stamps and dies that I used to make that card. Here's the stamp set. It is Stuck on You, and this is a Close to My Heart stamp set. Comes with all of those images and sentiments. And this is the die set that cuts out those stamped images. So there they are. And what I like about stamps and matching die sets is that it's quick and easy and no fussy cutting, and it just makes life simple. Let me show you. Now that I've shown you how easy it is to stamp and die cut the images, I'm going to show you how I inked around the edges of the pot and how I colored the cactus And I did that with distress inks, which is the same thing I stamped them with. So we're going to start with the pot. Some of you like that white edging around there, but that's not the effect that I wanted. So I'm using the same tea dye ink that I used to stamp it, and I'm just going to ink around the edges. Gives it a really nice look, a really nice finished look. And I could take the ink across that white spot too, but my little applicator is a little bit too big for that. So I'm using tea dye distress marker, just a little brush end here, and I'm just going to gently go across that white line, and it creates that darker shading that you would get from a pot right there, from the shadow. So it's that easy to make these. And I didn't press down very hard because I wanted that rough look of a pot. I didn't want it to be solid ink color. Just thought I would let you know why I did that. Now we're going to get to the cactus because it's all white. You would have had to stamp this on green cardstock to get a cactus look. But that's not the look that I was going for. So then ink it up here. I'm using the same ink that I used to stamp the image, which is peeled paint. And I'm going to start off, so if I can get it in my fingers here, by just going around the edges. Just like I did on the pot. And then I'm just going to start moving inward with it. And this is hard to do when it's in my hand, but I'm trying to keep it up here where you can see it, as opposed to down on my mat, which might make it a little bit more difficult. But that's all I did. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because what plants have you seen that are absolutely perfectly colored? There's always different shadings going on. And so there we go. Distress ink is awesome. It really is. And there you go. You have a cute little cactus in a pot. And it was so easy to do. So all I've done is use distress ink, and I have used the stamp and die sets, which are opened up sitting right here because I was using them. But there you go. I just wanted to share with you, let you know that this was my very first test. Well, that card was my very first test of using Close to My Heart stamp and die sets, because they are fairly new. They've just recently come out with them. And I have to say, I love them and they work great. So that is my review on the Close to My Heart stamp and die sets. And there was a little distress ink technique going on as well. I just want to let you know that the distress ink colors that I used on this card are these four right here. We have peeled paint, tea dye, spun sugar, and picked raspberry. Before I forget, I wanted to let you know that I have a tutorial on making a block card like this, a step block card, and I'm going to put the link down below in the description area for any of you that want to see how to make that, because it is very easy and fun to do. Well, you got to see how easy they are to use. You just stamp them, you put the die over the top, run it through your Cuttlebug, and voila, you have it. I know some people like to cut it out first and then stamp it, and you can do it that way too, but it's easier for me this other way. And they just cut beautifully, and the stamped images are beautiful. I loved everything about it, and I am so glad that I got it. And Close to My Heart has other stamp and die sets as well. My daughter actually just got one, but I can't remember the name of it. It had a nautical theme though, so it was really cute. But yeah, I would definitely recommend them. And I also definitely recommend distress inks because they are great to stamp with. They are great to edge things with. They are great to color with. Very useful. So this wasn't a review on the distress inks, but I did want to share how wonderful they are and how easy they are to use also. So thank you all for watching this review, and I will have links below to Close to My Heart and to the stamp and die set that I used. Thank you all for watching. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.